Sack and Jack exclusive for Gonzaga Nation. I don't think we've told anybody about this.
Exclusive or explicit?
Well, is it explicit? It's both. That's Christian Pedersen, our producer.
Yeah.
So exclusive is just us. Explicit is we're being bad boys saying bad words.
We'll try it out now, Rob. Let's just start firing off and see what.
No. Those come naturally.
Once you go explicit, you can't come back, Christian.
So we're trying to gain listeners on this one first, and then they can understand where we're coming from.
Trying to gain listeners, trying to gain viewers. As you can already tell, this is going to be a visual medium. Something Rob and I are very excited for. Christian put on a party shirt. We appreciate that, Christian. Christian went to Syracuse University, so he knows how to broadcast. Rob, you knew we were doing this.
I didn't know he was from Syracuse.
You did. Yeah, nobody's perfect, right?
I doubled down on it by having done UCLA for my undergraduate. So I'm 0% loved by anybody in the Gonzaga fandom. Yet here I am.
Gotcha.
So use me as your punching bag, guys.
Done and done. Rob had a flight from Kentucky last night. He got in. Did you watch a possession of the BYU?
I watched dude.
I don't mean to come at you, but I'm just being honest.
No. I was fine. I was projected to watch the second half of the game. I was prepared. We didn't have a pilot for the flight.
You need a pilot.
Yeah.
What happened was the pilot sick or something?
I don't know what happened. We didn't have a pilot, and then they had to do an emergency, grab two random pilots, and it was we're throwing them on your plane.
What airport were you?
Seattle.
You got to Seattle. How close were you? How close were you from takeoff when they told you that you didn't have a pilot?
No, I'm mad rushing from one end to the Seattle airport to the exact, taking 2 trains, pissed, running to get to and then they go, we've been delayed. I'm delayed. Oh, we're delayed another 2 hours. We don't have a pilot. How do you not, this flight has been booked for weeks. How do you not have a pilot? This doesn't make any damn sense.
Buddy, I love you. SeaTac is a very big airport, but if you took 2 trains, you screwed up. You should only ever have to take 1 train in an airport.
I agree.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people out there, am I incorrect on that? Do you have to take 2 trains?
I had to go from the complete opposite, 2 complete opposite ends of the whole damn airport. And I get there. I had literally 20 minutes to board the plane. And I go, no, we don't have a pilot. So I'm that's at least I can breathe. But what do you mean we don't have a pilot? Should I just go rent a car and drive home? So it was on my mind at that point in time.
You don't want to be the dude running through the airport. You definitely don't want to be the 7-foot dude running through the airport.
Mobbing. I saw this lady in front of me and I almost just gave her a shoulder when I realized she had a baby in her hand. And
or do you want to be the 7-foot guy running through the airport? Because I'd argue that if you're 5'6", people might not clear a lane for you.
If you're
7 foot and people can see you coming, so people will get out of your way.
If you're 7 foot and you're not a famous athlete or famous for being an athlete, you're in a bad spot. You have to answer uncomfortable questions nonstop.
Oh, 100%. I couldn't imagine being tall and not playing sports.
Yes. So you played for the Lakers. So you can be 7 foot for the rest of your life and have the Lakers to fall back on.
I get that. No, that makes sense. Yeah. But for the most part, and again, we always talk about this, but you never ask people how fat they are or how short they are. It's the one thing where someone just feels so comfortable all the time. How tall are you?
Do you ever get, how's the weather up there?
I
love that one. I love that.
And then I go, how's the weather on my ass?
Yes. Great cut. Explicit.
Have you heard the Wilt Chamberlain, how's the weather up there story?
Have not.
Allegedly, he would spit on people and say it's raining.
Good old Wilt.
That's a bit of an asshole move.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
Zags beat BYU last night by a count of 110-84. Wasn't even that close. We have a few things to get into this particular episode. What I'm most excited about is the reason Rob was in Kentucky. But first, the Zags. Rob.
Dude, I honestly thought they were going to score more. I really did think I thought they were going to they were on pace to go for like 120, 130.
Dude, so once, excuse me, I've been housing peanuts this morning and they've been going down the wrong direction, the wrong pipe, I should say, the correct direction. Zags put 117 on Pepperdine last week. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, ho hum, it's Pepperdine. They come out and put 110 on BYU, one of the better teams on the West Coast, not just in the WCC. Things are trending up offensively.
I think we just honestly might have been that break, that little COVID break, might have been the just break in the season that we needed. I don't know.
Usually, though, you see college teams come back from a COVID break and they're stale offensively. Look no further than Baylor getting rolled their first game back after a 2-week break in January last week. And then they developed into, one of the greatest basketball teams of all time, as unfortunately we found out. I just hope that this is sustainable right here.
Well, it's sustainable in the WCC. Let's call it what it is. That's the problem. That is what it drives me crazy. Yeah, that is the problem. I hate to say it. The WCC, like Pepperdine struggled against St. Mary struggled against Pepperdine, correct?
They certainly did.
See, yeah. This is where
so we do this every year. All right.
We do.
I was going to tiptoe.
I know.
I was going to tiptoe around this, but you know what? We're so polite to the WCC all the time. Every year going into conference play, we're like, oh, you know what's going to be tough this year? That WCC schedule. And then it's
liars. They make us straight up liars.
Because on paper, they look great. They're beating good non-conference opponents. And then we house Pepperdine by 60, and then Pepperdine almost beats St. Mary's. And what are we supposed to do with that information?
Right.
I know. I understand that the right thing to do is be like, oh, matchups and this and that. And, we can't sleep on any of these teams because they can give us a run. I don't think any of these teams could give us a run.
That's what Dick Howe's previews are for. That we have our journalistic integrity covered. Now we can be the honest ones. We what they really want.
We'll let those guys be. Yeah, they can be the politically correct. We've never been politically correct, especially on this podcast. So
we're here to make fights. We're here to pick fights.
What are they going to do? Come knock on my door? Guess what? I'm here. Come on, bring it here.
So 2 games in, and again, I thought this was going to be a closer battle than it was. It wasn't. I think we're going to roll through the WCC once again. Honestly, the only game that I'm kind of worried about right now is at USF.
That's always that one. Santa Clara again.
But dude, there's not going to be any fans at Santa Clara. It's going to be a open.
Is that the one that is shut down? That county?
Yes. Yeah. Santa Clara.
Weak.
Yeah.
So weak.
And honestly, that trend is tracking in all the Bay Area. So we may play USF on the Hilltop with no fans.
So
which will be just suck. It'll just suck to watch on TV.
Right. I'm hating this, but you said, and maybe I'm wrong about this, and I hope I'm completely off, but you said when we last episode, I think they have us going to Portland and then the Chase Center.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. For the tournament. We're talking tournament.
Yeah. We're going to the tournament. It is what it is. After watching the WCC, I don't know why we're still talking about them. I just pray that we have fans for those games.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If we play at Portland and in the Bay Area, I'm just hoping, and I'm hoping I'm wrong about this, but I'm hoping we have fans for those 2 games. That's my biggest fear.
Well, you see, the latest report is that the only way to beat Omicron is by smoking the chronic.
That's not a problem.
I'm saying that with a straight face. That's like a real
thing.
Oh,
I know. I retweeted that. That. No, trust me. I'm all about the chronic on that.
Smoke them if you got them out there. We're trying to get fans to the tournament.
Maybe they need to make a mandate on weed. That's the new vaccination.
Yeah, you have to have you.
Oh, that would be.
If you're not vaccinated,
that would not explain how there's cases in the NBA though.
Right. Call Christian, the Syracuse Mine. If you're not vaccinated, you have to like take an edible at the door
100%.
as like your medicine.
Sorry, you got to have at least the CBD, at
Yep.
least the CBD gummy in you. I'm sorry.
You don't have a booster? Here's 15 milligrams, pal.
Yeah, here's your
yourself.
boost. Enjoy it. See you on the other side. Can you imagine all these old people? Oh,
it goes state by state. Certain states, yeah, some attendances would be lower.
we're sending mass shipments into Idaho on big truckloads of chronic to Idaho to make sure those guys are all vaccinated with chronic. I'm liking this idea. I'm going to send it to our president.
Where does Rob sign up for the study? How can he be a part of the clinical study?
As long as they're paying me, I'll be all into the studies. I'll be the lab rat for sure.
He's a healthy guy. He's over medicated.
Dave Chappelle made a movie about this once.
R.I.P. Bob Saget. Okay, notes from the game. 30 points from Timmy.
Yes.
Timmy's on the court demonstrations have gone the way of the dinosaur as of late, Rob.
Yeah, I think he's just so focused now. He looks like he's really focused. And goddamn cat.
Goddamn cat. It was, I mean, generally when you get 30 points from Timmy, you're getting it's allowed 30 points and rightfully so. He's a showman.
Right.
He just kind of faded in the best way possible.
He's a subtle 30. Game. It's like
it was a subtle 30. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, which is crazy to believe. And dude, I think he's the last person in 10 years, 11 years that has had more games over 25, like in one season or something like that.
I don't doubt it. I mean, you could find a million stats of how good and consistent Timmy has been.
He's phenomenal. I'm rooting for that guy. I wish him. He's just a great dude, individual, and he deserves all the accolades that he's gotten so far and is going to get. But it's crazy. It's just no one can stop him on the block, and he needs to just keep going to work. What do you think about Chet, though?
Chet, I have notes for everybody.
I knew you would.
My notes for Chet was Chet can bleed. Chet was bleeding. Look, Chet has a difficult burden to bear right now because for a year and a half, everyone was hearing that Chet Holmgren was the new Kevin Durant, right? He was God's gift to basketball.
I think he still is.
I totally agree. But those expectations are lofty, if not impossible to live up to. Okay. And you heard it in Jay Billis last night. I don't know if you were probably watching at the airport, so you weren't hearing Billis.
Yeah.
Billis was like, they call Chet Holmgren a unicorn because we've never seen anything like him. I think we've seen plenty of guys like him, which is kind of I love Jay Billis, but it's very fair.
It's fair,
but it's also a way of like, he was flying so high, and that's not even Chet's fault. We put him on that pedestal, and Jay's kind of like beating him down a little bit. Chet, I still think I've said it before on our podcast, Zach and Jack, go check it out, that Chet's going to be a 20-year NBA guy, a million All-Star games. I truly believe that. Right now, he's just developing. He's growing into himself. All that said, Rob, one thing that I can't stand, and you've forgotten more basketball than I'll ever know, and Christian went to Syracuse, so he knows.
Yeah, they only know his zone. Good job,
he's a zone guy. When they do, I understand Chet has perimeter skills, but when they do that high-low thing, and Chet is at the top of the key, and he's
Coach Jack here. Hold on,
and he's trying to feed Timmy down low. They turn it over no fewer than twice a game, and it fires me up every time. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, I was the worst at the high-low pass. I was terrible. So I completely understand where this is coming from. No
offense, Chet more skilled than you on the perimeter.
There's no offense taken.
And I understand why they do it, because he can do it, but God bless it.
No,
he's inconsistent at it, and it drives me insane.
That high-low pass is a lot more difficult than people realize. But at the same time, how I did it when I got to a certain point in my career, I just told those guys underneath the basket, just go rebound for me. I'm putting this up. Forget that. If I get the ball at the high post, I'm putting it up and go rebound. I'm not gonna turn this over. I'd rather put it on the rim and give us an opportunity than turn the ball over.
That's the thing. Our turnover rate there is too high. And hopefully we keep running it, and hopefully he's getting better at it. Because obviously in these games, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So, I mean, might as well use him as a playoff game, but boy, or I should say practice games. But boy, oh boy, do I get frustrated. Not frustrated last night with Andrew Nemhard, 22 points, 20 from Julian. Nemhard, when Julian plays how Julian played last night, as like
they work off of each other.
Yes, as like an alpha, like score first guy. Then Nemhard, Indica Nemhard, a guy who's probably no stranger to COVID-19 medicine. Then he
we will call those players new age vaccinated
Nemhard. Then he can do what he does best, which is like cruise around the court and just vibe with everybody else. When Nemhard has to be the guy, that's not his strong suit. That's not putting us in a position to excel. And I don't think that's a knock on Nemhard. When Julian is like alpha male Julian, like he was in the first half last night, then the chips fall where they may, and Nemhard can get his 22 points and the Zags score 110. That's all Coach Jack has on this particular game.
Yeah, I think Nemhard doesn't need to worry. I think his game from so many games that I've watched, I think he's one of those guys that feeds off of other people's success, like you were saying. Like he plays better, like you said, as, can I say this, Tonto to the Lone Ranger?
Yes, you can. I don't think you're.
I don't know if we're in weird times now. You don't know what you can say and what
you could say Tonto. That's a character's name. You're not making that up.
That's true.
Maybe Robin to Batman.
Yeah, no.
We look forward to your apology on next episode, Rob. I'm sure you insulted somebody.
But Tonto to the Lone Ranger. Exactly. Actually, I could see how Tonto to the Lone Ranger could be problematic.
For now, as the producer, I'll allow
it. Moving on. I have here death taxes, BYU always so hateable. I understand how Gonzaga could be hated. We're in our bubble, so we don't particularly say it. I've been saying for quite some time, I really want Drew Timme to be the bad boy of college basketball, just because it would be good for his brand and it would be good for Gonzaga. But am I wrong? And Christian, maybe you could help us out here. Is BYU just consistently hateable, or are my Gonzaga colored glasses skewing my vision?
I think did I take Christian's spot? I told
No. I was just gonna jump in and say the term punchable face comes up for me. BYU as a school has a punchable face. They're always easy to just be like, no, get out of here. I'm happy to play you because I'm happy to beat you. There's no residual. Like, I feel bad for X, Y, or Z player. And just get out of here.
It feels like they're kind of self-aware about it and they like play into their hateability.
No, they just are.
Oh, I would have said the opposite. I would have said they're the ones that don't realize it.
Yeah, okay. They are just, they're smug.
They're your try-hard cousin that shows up to Thanksgiving that like wants to remind you about all the cool things they've done throughout the year, but you're like, bro, this doesn't incite me at all. Like this, right. I don't want to hear about it.
But it's not really that. Nothing they've done is something you would ever do at the same time. It's not they're excited to tell you they got an A on a test, and you're just like,
yeah. And then then they went and did a beach cleanup and they saved sea turtles, and you're like, good for you. I'm so glad you're doing all this.
You know what we did on a Saturday morning? We cleaned turtles. Well, I just woke up with a pretty woman, so that's how that works.
11-year-old Rob. Okay, so I'm glad we're all on the same page there, because I every few years there's a whole new batch of BYU players, and I just think they're hateable. You might get like a letter from like the Mormons saying like from the church.
He's anti-Mormon.
He'll just get some
I'll deal with that later if it comes.
Can't go to the Marriotts anymore.
Even St. Mary's, and I know it's very popular to hate St. Mary's, but some of those teams were fun to root for. They were like scrappy, bad boy Australians.
The old St. Mary's teams.
Yeah, like 5-6 years ago, back to like 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah, because you're
Some of those
rooting for
teams-
them to keep the. See, the problem is we root for these teams all the time when they're not.
Non-conference.
Yeah, we're like, come on, get our conference better. Like, show that the WCC is something, and then they do this every single time. You want to root for these guys because those St. Mary's teams were like, even Mickey McConnell, all those guys, they were just scrappy, tough.
Yeah.
You know,
Relatable teams.
even the San Francisco teams, they
Yeah,
would like
I agree.
they would surprise teams all over the country, and then you were like, I don't know. It's just really frustrating. Really frustrating.
MVP of the week, Rob. Again, we're going to do this exclusive every Friday. So we're going to try to have MVPs of the week for you. I will surrender to Rob here.
For Zags.
Yeah.
It has to be Drew Timmy.
Okay.
I just say because he has set the bar now of like, okay, we're not playing around in WCC. I'm going to get my buckets, and I'm going to set the tone early. And I think we have to ride that wave and just ride it all the way into the tournament.
Okay, I'm going.
Can I throw out, or go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Christian, please.
I wanted to throw out an honorary one to the Zag Kennel Club. I think that was awesome that the student section showed up as deep as it did last night.
Christian,
did I steal yours?
you're new and you're cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say it, but I think we still have some room for improvement in the Kennel Club.
No, not saying no, but I think that just in the unknown times right now of tent cities getting canceled and restrictions, just to have a packed student base show up. And not
trust me,
scared of anything like that. It was
Those
I need
kids-
more.
those kids were medicated. Those kids took the proper precautions before coming into the McCarthy Athletic.
I get that I'm stumbling into, it's cute, yada, yada. As somebody who would travel to away games in a banana suit to sit in the front of the student section and be as drunk and loud as I could, I'm with you on
We need more of those, though. I think we need more of that at our games.
There was multiple years where Bill Walton only knew me on site as Banana Kid.
I know the Syracuse banana guy. That was
no. This was my undergrad at UCLA. This was when Bill Walton was grad school.
What years were you at UCLA?
I graduated 2013 from UCLA.
So Kevon Looney, or right before Kevon Looney?
No, I got effing Tyler Honeycutt and Shabazz Muhammad.
Shabazz.
Reeves Nelson.
Yeah,
no.
I helped Reeves Nelson cheat on an English assignment once. He was the missing link between man and ape.
I had him in training camp with the Lakers. Reeves is.
He thought a lot of himself.
He's a unique human being. I think he's doing music now.
Yes. So I was the only one there cheering because we hit an all-time low at the end of Ben Howland's existence.
Yeah, that spiraled out of control quick.
Should have never let him go. Speaking of, UCLA loses to Oregon in OT last night in an empty gym. It was very sad to watch. That game was going on.
UCLA or
it was at UCLA.
Empty Pauley Pavilion.
Empty Pauley,
which is normal. That's just a normal. I feel like that's just
maybe that's why I'm complimenting an 80% full Zag club, is I never got a good experience of it and have only ever been told wooden championships are coming to us. No, they're not.
That was tough to watch. That was.
Oh, I'm sure you guys loved it.
No, I mean, I'm indifferent towards UCLA. We have this quote unquote rivalry. We've housed UCLA except for the epic.
So we're salty about last year's game, and you guys don't even remember it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of, to be honest.
I think the big rivalry in the Pac-12 for us is either UW and Arizona. It's
Gonzaga is a UCLA problem. UCLA is not a Gonzaga problem, if that makes sense. Sorry, Christian.
No, that's the summary of my existence. Is we like to think that we're big deals to everybody, but then everyone goes, "What? Why are you still here?"
USC struggled at home against Oregon State. So I mean, like I said, we're just going to hold serve and be the 1 seed in the West. Ho hum. USC smashes LMU. We mentioned it. St. Mary's struggled a bit with Pepperdine. So Groundhog's Day, same old song and dance. We come into WCC play hoping we're going to be challenged night in, night out. Game 1 of 6 potential problem games, and I'm talking 2 BYUs, 2 St. Mary's, and 2 USFs. So far, not an issue. Anything on the state of West Coast basketball, Rob, before we get into Kentucky horses?
No, West Coast basketball. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rob spent a week in Kentucky to sell a horse, he literally went to see a man about a horse, Christian. And Rob, you can nuance this all you want, but I'm going to set you up. You received what times your initial investment this week?
About 6 times.
No way.
Yeah.
Excellent work.
Yeah, it was.
All right. What did you learn selling ponies? And
dude, it's that.
Did your pony find a nice house?
I'm about to move to Kentucky here and be a donor to the Wildcats here soon enough. Dude, it is a different animal. I learned so much, and like yesterday, my mind and everything was just blah. Because it just the whole momentum to get to that. And then like the last hour before the horse, we had 19 vet checks on our horse. That was how many they checked the vet bill and look at all the scopes and everything on our horse and all that type of. We had 19. It was like a record. And it came to the auction time. We had people, it was like the last horse of the show almost at 7:00 at night. And it was still packed to see where this horse was going to go. It was incredible. It was like a rush that you can't, it was a crazy rush. It was wild, man. It was wild. And I drank with some Irishmen.
So you're watching the bidding, and every time one of those little white signs go up, you're getting a little bit richer.
Well, yeah, we put a reserve on the horse. And if it didn't reach that, we were going to sell it in November because we knew we knew that it was going to sell for even more in November, but whatever. We wanted to get it off our books and just get it sold. And dude,
what's a bigger day, getting your horse sold or getting drafted by the Lakers?
Man, it kind of. It's up there. I would probably have to go with the Lakers, then that horse is sold. But yeah, it's crazy.
Any part of you sad to see the horse leave your life like that?
No, I never even got to really touch the horse. I only touched him once. I don't care.
Did you get to name him?
Usra 21. That was his horse. Yeah. No, it's kind of I'm getting all settled and ready to go for November sale and go buy me a mare with a fat ass. Nice.
Aren't we all looking for a mare with a fat ass?
Like, that is my goal. I'm gonna get me a nice mare for next November. I'm going into that sale, going to buy me a nice mare with a fat ass, and that we're gonna produce.
If you end up having a racehorse and you had to name it after some sort of Gonzaga player, coach.
See, I named a dog after Tony Skinner. I had to get rid of that dog. So
Tony.
So I am really particular on how I name animals now, because then they end up taking on that name really well, which I got to make sure that. So if I got a horse, I'd have to get I have to have a smart but athletic player.
People forget there is a Kentucky Derby winner named Spokane.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look it up. I think it was like 1885. The Kentucky Derby winner was named Spokane.
Dude,
Christian's I think just type in Spokane Kentucky Derby winner, Christian.
I'm trying to get a track back in Spokane. I'd be there every day.
Dog track.
Spokane chestnut thoroughbred stallion foaled in 1886, winner of the 1889 Kentucky Derby. The fact that you know horses from the U.S. Civil War era makes me a tad bit concerned about the Wikipedia wormholes you've been down.
You know what? I don't even know how I knew that, but and I was 4 years off. I think I said 1885, and Spokane won it in 1889. Way to go, Lilac City. Way to go.
Right.
We got to wrap things up. I had more notes on, if you listen to our podcast, we went down a Girls Gone Wild wormhole. I had an update on Joe Francis,
That's the creator, right?
The creator. Christian, I thought you were much younger. I thought you were like 22. That's a compliment. So
31.
you're definitely, you're
31.
So
Yes.
you know
man.
Girls Gone Wild. I was going to ask you what your relationship with
I was
Girls
right
Gone Wild
I was right at the
franchise.
tail end of VHSs and DVDs and the beginning of that digital era. So I know all of the references previous eras have ever used.
We will save our Joe Francis update for a later date, but this has been episode 1 of the Sack and Jack exclusive for Gonzaga Nation. Not explicit. I don't think we were explicit. I think we minded our P's and Q's. What do you think?
You want to try one out, Rob? Right now, we'll see if I end up leaving it.
We'll wait. It's still
it's coming.
It's coming.
Every Friday, go Zags.